Hey, Mark Shepard, CrushAnxiety.com, and I just have a couple of thoughts today. Recently in the news, our beloved comedian and actor Robin Williams passed away at his own hand, suicide. And all the news reports basically say he was suffering from depression. And it's a really interesting fact because he really fits the profile of the anxiety sufferer. Someone who is highly talented, highly intelligent, highly emotionally connected to the world around him and also his internal feelings and his internal world. And it got me to thinking that I've done a lot of work with anxiety. I have actually helped some people over the years with depression as well. And it seems to me that depression is different from sadness in that quite often with sadness there's a sweetness, like we're sad when a beloved pet or person dies and we miss them, and there's a sadness. And as a musician who loves Irish music, I mean, there's a lot of just wistfulness and sadness that has a sweetness to it, and it's not depressing. It's almost empowering. It's uplifting. It's beautiful. It's artistic, right? So it's not sadness. Depression seems to me to actually be a really severe form of anxiety. And here's what I mean. Anxiety is thinking about what you do not want to have happen in the future, right? So you go out into your future and you see bad things happening and your body reacts as if it is real because, again, your unconscious mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. So if you imagine a worst case scenario, your body creates all the same biochemistry as if it was really happening. Now with depression, it's going out into the future and seeing hopelessness. I had a guy at one of my anxiety seminars when we went out into our future, and one of the things I do is have people literally brighten up their future, literally shine light down into their future. And he was like, Mark, I didn't realize that I had no future. I just had like this black hole out in my future. And for a lot of people, depression is just this absolute absence of light, this absence of hope. It's hopeless, helpless stuckness that this is the way it's always going to be. It's never going to get better. It's just going to be like this out in the future. And if you paint a future like that, you're going to want to die. I mean, it's such a hopeless scenario. And the other point that I wanted to make about depression is that people don't really want to kill themselves. They don't want to die. They want the pain to stop. So what if we go out into the future, and what if we send some light out there? What if we brighten it up? What if we make that future something where there's joy, where there's hope, where there's connection, where there's love? So that's one piece, right? And there's a lot of talk about how depression is a chemical imbalance in the brain, and yes, it is. However, it is not a genetic imbalance. It is not a medical imbalance. It is something that if you're thinking totally hopeless thoughts, your biochemistry is going to create that imbalance in your brain. So, and for some people, I talked to somebody yesterday who just a very light dose of an antidepressant has really helped her. Personally, I would rather take an antidepressant than die. But the challenge with a lot of the medications is that they have side effects, many of which are depression and anxiety. They have side effects where if you stop taking them, it's like you really want to die, And I have worked with some people who were really considering suicide in the past, and it's a tough situation because there's so much pain in their lives, and I really feel that. And so there are some choices. You have some choices. If your depression is, something that's kind of like these little gnats that are flying around me, something that comes in every once in a while, then you might be helped with my Crush Anxiety course, because it's really all about how you run your mind. If you are really deep in a dark place, I may not be able to help you in a course. You may need to get some real intensive therapy, But ultimately, it's when you change your mind, when you change the habitual thinking processes that have been giving you the result that you call your life, when you're willing to do that work, then there is hope. But you can start today. Just try this. Literally imagine your future. Just kind of make it big and bright. Make it compelling. Make it sweet. Go out 10 years, 20 years, 30 years into the future and turn and look back and see today as a turning point in which your life opened up. Now in the background we have sirens. We have somebody mowing their lawn. There's all these different things that are going on in the background all the time. But we don't have to focus on that. We could focus on the fact that those firemen are responding and they're there and they're going to help somebody. The problem with depression and anxiety is that we don't call for help. We don't call for help. We just kind of struggle. And if you mention to someone that you're depressed, it's like they don't know what to do. We think someone who's depressed is crazy, and that's really not the truth. The truth is that someone who is depressed or anxious is using their mind in a very specific way to get a specific result. And what neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP, has really taught us is that there is an actual repeatable step-by-step process for any outcome in our lives. And it starts with the pictures we're running on our mental movie screen. It starts with the self-talk, the things we're saying to ourselves. It starts with the focus. What are we focusing on? Are we focusing on that it's partly sunny, or are we focusing on that it's partly cloudy? And some of the patterns of our thinking we learned when we were very impressionable little kids from our parents. So if you grew up with a depressed parent or an anxious parent, you modeled that. It doesn't mean you're stuck with it. It does not mean that you can't leave it and open up a new pathway for yourself. Our neural pathways, the ones that we use a lot, get big, just like a tree. The branches of a tree, the bigger ones, that's where most of the tree's energy goes. But if you trim that tree, it's going to put its energy into a new pathway and build new neural connections. So today, I just want to speak to anyone out there who has considered ending his or her life. There was a time in my life when I really seriously considered ending my life because I couldn't do my music. It was so painful, and I looked out to the future and I saw it was impossible, right? I projected a really negative, dark future, and I didn't want to live in that future. So today, think about your future. See if you can shine a light. Light one candle if you can, and then another and another, and see if you can eventually get a spotlight out there. Maybe, get some halogen lights out there like the workers use at night on the highways, or that you see in a football stadium at night. Just light up your future. Pretend for just a moment that there is hope, that this is temporary. Someone yesterday said that suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And I get that. I think that's really a profound statement. It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And ultimately, I don't think that when we pass on, I don't think it's over, because energy cannot be created or destroyed. However, this life is so sweet, so rich, so full of amazing pleasures that I want you to have them. I want you to experience a life that is so rich and so full and so meaningful, not only to you, but to the other lives that you touch. That every day is something you look forward to. Every day is something you look forward to. And just as the sun just kind of came out a moment ago and lit up my backyard, I want you to imagine light coming into your life and lighting up your future. If you can only do it for tomorrow, do it for tomorrow. If you can only do it for later today, do it for later today. You can do this. We want you here. We want to have you here with us, sharing your insights, your talents, your treasures, your ideas, the things you're passionate about. I know you can do this, and I believe in you. So that's it for today. I just wanted to kind of share that message. Hopefully it's hopeful for you. You have the power. You have the power to change your thoughts, to change your focus. We all do. Ultimately, that's the ultimate power that we have. So I wish you well. I wish you all the best. Mark Shepard, CrushAnxiety.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.